Some of you asked if you can make Chaos Angel in Lunalight. And you're right, you can. But why stop there? With just a 1.5 card combo, you can end on a Chaos Angel, SP, Silver Hound Engrave, plus double Liger. And today, I'm going to show you how. But first, if you haven't already attended my free Lunalight masterclass, I highly recommend that you do. It covers 50 combos that explain not only how to play the deck, but also how to combo through basically every hand trap in the game. You can find a link to that video in the description box below. But for now, let's get into the combo. To go about this combo, you'll need a gold Leo plus a black outlaw. So the line that makes double Liger plus Chaos Angel is probably a line that is better suited for going second. It's generally for situations where you need to crack your opponent's board without destroying any of their monsters, or they have something like a pesky floodgate or monsters that can't be destroyed by battle or card effect that you need to get rid of by banishing. So this line allows you to banish 2 of them. I'll explain why it's not really suited for when going first. But again, to go about it, you'll need Goleo plus a discard. I have Black Coat because it's probably the best discard that we can have in this situation, but any discard will do. So like always, we'll normal summon Goleo and we will use its effect to add. In this case, we were going for Yellow Marten as opposed to the rest of my combos, which go for Silver Hound. So it doesn't play into draw, but you're going second. So right, if your opponent has draw plus an established board, that's generally just an FTK against most things. So you can afford to be a bit greedier. So we'll use the effect of Yellow Marten after we discard it, and you want to add Masquerade to hand. So nothing out of the ordinary yet. We'll activate Masquerade and we'll use its effect to pitch the Silver Hound from deck to graveyard. And then we will use Silver Hound's effect to summon a Lunalight from deck. So we will be going for Collider Check. We're going for well, we're assuming we're going second, right? So try to summon all of your monsters in attack position should you get an opportunity to attack. And then you want to use Collider Check's effect. And you want to pitch Black Sheep. Now you'll use the effect of Goleo to add the Black Sheep to your hand. And then activate the Black Sheep's effect to add Polymerization from deck to hand. You'll activate Polymerization and you want to use its effect to fusion summon out Perfume Dancer. So you'll summon Perfume Dancer to your side of the field. A couple of triggers. So you're going to go Chain Link 1, Perfume Dancer, Chain Link 2, Collider Check. So we're not using the Masquerade just yet. We will need to use its effect at some point. That's why we kind of needed the discard. But for now, we're not doing that. And we'll add Perfume to add. You'll activate Perfume and you want to use its effect to summon back out Collider from grave. Again, try to keep your monsters in attack position just should you get an opportunity to attack. You'll then activate Collider Check's effect and you'll want to send the Leo Dancer from extra deck to graveyard. From here, you want to use the grave effect of Yellow Marten to return Masquerade back to hand to summon itself to your side of the field. Just in case you don't forget later, make sure you activate the Masquerade before you fusion summon. So safest to do it now, it doesn't really matter when, unless your opponent has something on the board that pops shit when you exceed summon. So then we will go into Dugaris using the 2 level 4s. You'll use Dugaris' effect, you'll detach 2, and you want to special summon a monster from your graveyard. So we're going to go for Collider Check. So we summon the Collider Check to our side of the field. We will then activate Collider Check's effect. In this case, we want to send the second copy of Leo Dancer to the graveyard. From here, we can overlay or link off into Cross Sheep using the Collider Check and the Dugaris. So it didn't matter that we summoned them in defense position, they weren't sticking on the field for too long. And now that we've got to do our Cross Sheep, we can activate the effect of Perfume. So we will discard Polymerization and we'll add Wolf. Although in retrospect, I probably should have searched before summoning the Cross Sheep in case something had happened. But you know, live and learn. We'll then activate the effect of Wolf and we'll use Wolf's effect to fusion summon them. And you want to summon out your Liger Dancer. You want to banish the Aleo Dancer, Yellow Marten since we've already used its effect and we're going for an OTK, Goleo, and the Black Sheep. So it'll summon to his own Cross Sheep points to. Cross Sheep's effect will activate as Chain Link 1, and then you want to use the effect of Masquerade Chain Link to pitch in the Black Coat on res so that we can fusion from our graveyard. So we will choose the effect to discard and we will discard the Black Coat. Now if our opponent has something, we can use Black Coat to prevent its activation. Again, very niche because it assumes that we open Black Coat and discard will do. So we summon Collider to our side of the field, we can use its effect again, and you just want to send a Lunalight name from deck to graveyard, doesn't matter which one. Now you can use the effect of Perfume Dancer to return the wolf to hand and then summon it to your side of the field. The reason why we're doing this is because wolf is a light and Kaleido is a dark. So when we summon our Chaos Angel, we have both of the effects, like both the light and the dark effect. So this is where you use Chaos Angel's effect to banish something on your opponent's side of the field. They obviously don't have anything, so you know we're just gonna leave it at that. And you want to link off into SP using Crush Heap and your Perfume Dance on field. So we're going to use SP's effect just to showcase that we can still OTK even though we are using SP's effect to banish. I'm just going to banish something from a graveyard. We'll just choose Tugaras. This will obviously be something on opponent's field, the graveyard. And then finally you can activate Polymerization and you will summon out the Liger Dancer from your graveyard. At this point you want to make sure that one of your banishes is the Kaleido check, the Goldio, the Leo Dancer, and we will use the Perfume Dancer so we can keep the Silver Hound in our graveyard in case we need it. So we'll go into our second copy of Leo Dancer, or Liger Dancer. We'll then activate the effect of Kaleido check for when it's banished, which says opponent can't activate anything during the battle phase. And like I said, even though we used SP to banish the Dugaras, while it would have been a monster on their side of the field, we can still attack directly. So we'll enter battle. We can see the Chaos Angel and the SP can't attack because SP's effect only affects monsters you control, and unaffected monsters are unaffected by the attack restriction. So we can still attack with the rest of them. Of course, at this point, when we're in the battle phase, we can use the effect of Liger twice to nuke our opponent's board, and they won't be able to respond with because of the Kaleido. So this is like a sure way to get to an OTK. It's a bit specific, but you know it is something that will come up every now and then. So while this line is great at OTK, and as you can see, you can use Chaos Angel and both your SP to banish cards from your opponents out of the field, you know, things like Competition Battle or card destruction, and then it allows you to OTK with your Ligers uninterrupted because of the effect of the Kaleido check. Now, it's great going second, but it's not good for going first. Now, a lot of you might argue that, hey, I made this Chaos Angel using a light and a dark, which means monsters I control cannot be destroyed by battle. And some of you would argue that this means that my Liger, which is unaffected by card effect, is basically unkillable because it has battle protection too. Unfortunately, this is just not true. As you saw with SP is worded in a way that says monsters you control cannot attack directly if you use this effect to banish, and Chaos Angel is worded in the same way. It says monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle. As you saw with the Lunalight, with Liger Dancer, which was unaffected by SP's restriction and was allowed to attack directly, it is unaffected by anything that is not a Lunalight. So unfortunately, it is unaffected by your own Chaos Angel's battle protection, which means it can be destroyed by battle. Now, your opponent would look at your board and see the Chaos Angel plus the Liger, and they would probably think that the Liger is unkillable. You probably don't have to explain this unless they ask. Like if they ask, hey, can your Liger be destroyed by battle? You would then be obligated to say yes, because you know you are responsible to understand how your own cards interact with one another, and you don't want to judge breathing down your neck. So yeah, it's not really great for going first. I would probably replace this with a Baguska because it does something way better when going first, because you know Baguska's a floodgate and it kind of gives you pseudo battle protection by putting everything in defense position anyway. But yeah, so going second, great. Going first, I'd probably think twice before summoning this.